And gentlemen, you know, Trump seems to be patting himself on the back and saying, he's not going to do anything but put sanctions on Iran. Iran is pretty much saying, no, this ain't over. Far worse is coming. So we shall see what happens. But he is taking, Trump style victory lap. Nobody's greater than him. My raisins are bigger than yours, kind of speech. And Iran, they didn't say nothing about standing down, but this is what he implied, that Iran is standing down. And nobody's ever said that. But leave it up to Trump to throw things in there that nobody ever said. So some of you might have seen he gave a speech yesterday and, pretty much kind of just patting himself on the back, throwing more sanctions on Iran, which has really got them in a bad position economically. And then that's what they do, ladies and gentlemen. It's not that you're failing. They put you in these situations where once those sanctions are on, it's very hard for them to make money. So this came out on Vox January 8th, 2020. Trump's Iran speech seemed like a victory lap. It actually made things worse. And some of you might have seen Nancy Pelosi is trying to limit Trump's military power that he has. Personally, I don't think that's going to work. Even if the House pass it, the Senate will kill whatever they're sending there. You can best believe they will. They're not going to take any kind of military power away from Trump, once it reaches the Senate. So Donald Trump had an opportunity in his presidency to stand at a White House lectern, look out on the country he leads, and declare to the world his victory over Iran after a deadly standoff. He blew that chance. Trump did the bare minimum in his Wednesday morning address, which was recognized that Iran's weak attack on 2 American military sites in Iraq was a de-escalation instead of specifically targeting troops at Al-Assad Air Base and Erbil. It appears Tehran may have missed them on purpose, leading to 0 U.S. or Iraqi casualties. Iran appears to be standing down, which is a good thing for all parties concerned and a very good thing for the world, Trump said. But then his remarks took a turn. He chose to take the victory lap and use the occasion to boast about his diplomatic and military prowess. What? A 5-time draft dodger got military prowess? Really? That's interesting. He instead escalated his pressure campaign against Iran, the same campaign that fueled this crisis in the first place. 3 ways Trump needlessly escalated the Iran standoff. First, Trump announced he would impose new sanctions on the Islamic Republic, increasing America's economic squeeze on the country that has already decimated its economy. The United States will immediately impose additional punishing economic sanctions on the Iranian regime, Trump said. These powerful sanctions will remain until Iran changes its behavior. I don't know. I just got this feeling Trump is not going to change anything about Iran. These people are still fuming mad over the death of their general. Iran aims to force Trump to lift the sanction campaign by bombing oil tankers in international waters, striking Saudi oil fields, and even downing U.S. drones. Those actions partly help bring Washington and Tehran to the brink of all-out war this week. Adding further sanctions on Iran is more likely to lead Tehran to lash out again than to step back from the brink. Second, Trump called on all parties to the Iran nuclear deal to exit it, like the U.S. did in 2018. The time has come for the United Kingdom, Germany, France, Russia, and China to break away from the remnants of the Iran deal, or JCPOA. And we must all work together towards making a deal with Iran that makes the world safer and more powerful place, he stated. Wait a minute. Europe came out strong when the U.S. dropped from the nuclear deal. They were angry. They were all angry. I just don't think, and y'all can just correct me if I'm wrong, Trump don't have any kind of influence. I know I'm not the only one that feels this. You know, you went to NATO, those people mocked you. He doesn't have the kind of pull that's going to get the people behind him. You know, really, the only one that's going to stand with the U.S., going against Iran is Israel. As far as those other nations, they're not even speaking openly about this. They're not talking about recruiting their people or giving troops over there. They're not doing any of those things. If anything, most of those nations have been silent on this entire thing, even through the assassination. They didn't say much. So Trump rallying up the troops in Europe and Russia and China, I just don't see it, y'all. But if you do see it, just let me know. Those Europeans seem to believe they're on their own. They don't have the U.S. to fall back on. That's unlikely to happen, as those European nations want to do business with Iran and Russia and China are Tehran's allies. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. But it gives the the Islamic Republic another reason to unshackle itself from the nuclear deal's restrictions and move closer to obtain a nuclear weapon. Earlier this week, the Iranian regime said it would no longer honor its nuclear enrichment limits. So that tells me they had something going on over there. Otherwise, why even have a deal on the table once upon a time and all these sanctions if they didn't have nothing? Possibly inching it closer to getting the bomb. Finally, Trump called on the U.S. NATO allies, the ones that mocked him, to be much more involved in the Middle East process. It's not entirely clear what the president means by this, especially since NATO forces are already in the Middle East, including at the bases in Iraq that were targeted by Iran Tuesday night. One possibility is that the president wants more troops from NATO countries to deploy to the region to fend off future Iranian aggression. It's doubtful allies would have the appetite for that, though, and surely Iran wouldn't want more Western forces in the area. After all, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani stated on Wednesday morning that Iran's goal now is to force U.S. troops out of the Middle East. Having more troops enter the region to join American ones would be viewed as an escalation by Tehran. I'm just telling y'all, I mean, Trump does not have strong allies over in Europe. You can say he does, but the actions of the people says he don't. And like I said, the only one I heard coming out strong and speaking was Israel. Netanyahu said something. He gave a statement shortly after the general was assassinated. But other than that, I didn't hear any European nation saying a word. I don't know, y'all. Some international security experts, like the Atlantic Council, Barry Pavel, see Trump's rhetoric as consistent with his previous policies. He still wants to get a deal with Iran, he told me. That's his top policy goal. That's how he got started, and that's where he wants to end up. And Trump was never going to stop his maximum pressure campaign against Iran. And one speech was never going to make both countries suddenly become friends. But he did have a chance not to take another shot at Iran when it was waving the white flag. With these new statements and actions, then Trump made the U.S.-Iran standoff worse when he could have made it better. Now, I saw his speech yesterday, and to me, it was lukewarm, in my opinion. I mean, it was all right, but look, after he killed the general, he gave a 4-minute speech and left. I mean, but he's definitely more vocal, not vocal, but he's definitely more enthusiastic, I should say, on Twitter. That's when he feels really empowered. But ladies and gentlemen, do you think this is over? I don't. I don't. You know, I believe that Iran is planning something. You know, they were very upset over the death of those officials along with the general. And, you know, the cyber attacks are going strong. And I know that's going to ramp up. Not to mention, I just feel they got more attacks coming. I really do. But we shall see, ladies and gentlemen. But from what I read, they said something else is coming. So we can't do anything but wait and stay out of the war. Ladies and gentlemen, stay out of it. This is not our fight. We don't start wars. And I feel we shouldn't fight in them. And when you look at Trump, you don't even see none of us up on the stage with him. This is not our war. That's a clear indicator right there. This is not our war. We need to mind our business and attend to our own business, ladies and gentlemen. But please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.